You know, when your neurodiverse child has these huge feelings, and it leads to things getting thrown or broken, it can feel so overwhelming. Today, we're going to look past just managing the crisis. We're going to focus on understanding the why behind the behavior so we can create a home that feels safer and calmer for everyone. Let's dive in.
My autistic child destroys the house. This is one of the top things parents actually search for online. It's just this raw, honest cry for help. And if you've ever felt this way, I just need you to hear this. You are not alone. That feeling of frustration, of being completely exhausted, it is so valid. We're going to unpack all of this with practical strategies, not judgment.
Okay, to really get to the heart of this, I want you to picture something with me. Imagine you're standing by a river, and you're just constantly pulling people out who are drowning. It's exhausting, right? That's crisis management. That's the downstream problem. But the real solution isn't just getting better at pulling people out. It's walking upstream to find out who or what is throwing them in. And that is our goal today. We're going to find the source.
So first, let's just acknowledge what it feels like to live downstream. It's that space of constant reaction, isn't it? You're cleaning up, you're replacing things, you're trying to de-escalate meltdowns. It is physically, emotionally, and let's be honest, financially draining.
And I really want to just sit with this for a second. This feeling of being on high alert all the time, of being a crisis manager in your own home, it is incredibly hard. This doesn't mean you're failing. It just means you're stuck in that downstream current, and it's time we find a new way to approach this.
So, you ready? Let's start that walk upstream. We're going to shift our whole focus from the what, the broken lamp or the tablet that got thrown, to the why. What is the unmet need that's really driving this behavior?
And the very first question, maybe the most important one we have to ask ourselves, is this one. Is my child trying to tell me something? Because I promise you, when you start to see behavior through the lens of communication, everything starts to change.
Look, the most important thing to get here is that this kind of behavior is almost never malicious. It's not about trying to be bad. It's a last resort. It's a child using the only tool they have left because other ways of communicating just haven't worked. They're trying to signal, hey, a core need isn't being met, or that they just feel totally overwhelmed and confused.
Let's keep walking upstream. Our next stop on the journey is the sensory world. Could this really intense physical action actually be driven by a sensory need?
Now, what's so interesting here is that this can go into completely opposite directions. For some kids, the world is just too much, it's too loud, it's too bright, and throwing something is this huge physical release from all that overload. But for other kids, it's the total opposite. They are seeking that intense feedback. The crash of an object, that feeling of impact, it can actually be super regulating for a nervous system that craves that powerful input.
And finally, our third big stop as we walk upstream, the world of big emotions. Could this just be an emotional explosion?
I love this idea of the volcano effect. Just think about it. Frustration and stress are simmering right below the surface all day long. A child might not have the tools yet to manage those feelings as they build up. So what looks to us like a massive explosion over something tiny is really just the moment that all that internal pressure just can't be contained anymore. In that moment, they literally lack the capacity to cope.
Okay, so now that we've explored the why, we can get super practical. The very first step is to adapt the physical environment to minimize danger and damage. This is not about punishment. It's all about prevention and safety for absolutely everyone in the house.
Here are 3 really high-impact things you can do, like right away. First, protect your screens. A durable TV screen protector can be an absolute game changer. Second, anchor your furniture. Seriously, TVs and tall bookshelves have to be anchored to the wall. This prevents really dangerous tipping accidents. And third, manage your cords. Hiding or covering them up removes that temptation to pull, which can bring a very expensive TV crashing down.
Making the environment safe is crucial, but it's still kind of a downstream fix, right? The real upstream work, the stuff that makes a long-term difference, starts right here. Meeting that underlying sensory or emotional need in a safer, more appropriate way.
Now, this right here is a critical shift in how we think about this. We're not trying to stop the urge to throw. We're trying to redirect that powerful need that's driving it. The whole goal is to give that intense energy a safe and approved place to go.
So what does that actually look like? Well, you can create a yes space. Stock a basket with things that are totally okay to throw, like soft blocks or pillows. A small punching bag or one of those big crash cushions can be incredible for kids who need that full body impact. And please, never underestimate the power of just getting outside to run and jump and let out all that big energy.
Okay, so what do you do when you see that pressure building? How do you navigate the moment right before and even during an explosion?
This is where you put on your detective hat. Start looking for that simmer we talked about. You can even keep a simple log. When does it happen? What was going on right before? I'm telling you, identifying these patterns is your single greatest tool for prevention. It's how you see the signs before the volcano erupts.
In the heat of the moment, your only job is safety. That's it. Remove any dangerous objects, but do it calmly, without a big lecture. Your calm presence is honestly the most powerful tool you have. And remember our metaphor. You can't lecture someone on river safety while they're drowning. The time for teaching comes later, once everyone is calm and feeling safe again.
Whew. We have covered a lot of ground, I know. So to bring it all together and make it really simple, here is a practical checklist you can use to start making these changes in your own home.
All right, let's run through it real quick. Number 1, identify those upstream triggers. Become that detective. Get the screen protector, anchor the furniture, hide the cords. And hey, it is totally okay to have no-go zones where fragile or expensive things are kept. And finally, get that basket of safe, throwable things ready to go. This is your action plan.
And we're gonna end right here. If you take only one thing away from our time together today, please let it be this. All behavior is communication. When you can see the behavior not as something that needs to be punished, but as a desperate attempt to communicate, you can respond with compassion and find solutions that actually work. You stop being just a crisis manager, and you become your child's detective and their most trusted ally.